Hello and welcome back to our Onomatopoeias Tournament of the Goats. We finished up round one a little bit earlier, and now we're finally onto the first game that we have showing of round two. Should be a good game of Solstice Esports versus Exile. I'm pretty stoked for it. How are you feeling about this, Ryan?
I'm feeling pretty good too. We've seen Solstice pop off really in their first game. A lot of great players there, a lot of great Zarya play from Aspect, Ryan play from Inax, but also on the side of Exile, we haven't technically seen this team yet, but we have seen Donkey and Shrek formerly in some different tournaments, and now they're here on Exile. So that should be pretty exciting to watch during this game. Definitely excited to see both these teams. Of course, both these teams winning the 3-0 in the first round. So we know they've got something going for them. It's just which team has it the best when you really think about it, when you put it on the table.
Absolutely. And like we said, it's round two. So both of these teams have proved themselves already to move on through round one.
Mhm.
We've seen Solstice play already. They did, like you said, they did very well, kind of rolling. And I mean, at least me personally, have yet to see Exile play, but I think they're going to be able to put up a good fight here. Um, and just in a minute, we'll be able to see the bracket ourselves and see exactly how well they did against the teams prior, and see how all these things are shaping up. Because there's also a loser bracket as well, of course.
Mhm.
So even whoever wins here, they managed to get past round one, so they should have a pretty free ride for the most part going through losers if they drop down.
Mhm.
Team Exile, they're taking out Tactical Tilting, another very good team, but taking the 3-0. Both
Yeah.
very dominant displays of power and aggression. But they're going to want to. Both teams are going to want to move on to round three here and take on either Astronomical Pegasus or Boomers. Both another couple of good teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
so it should definitely be a good one. These two teams, two of the strongest in the tournament for sure. Very high SR teams, but obviously SR doesn't really dictate how good a team really is. But it could still be a factor looking at all these players who plays what. Definitely some good brig gameplay. Gotta see some of that too. Love to see it. But we'll be hopping into our first map here in just a second, which will be Busan, which seems like a favorite for goats. Has a little bit of high ground in downtown too, so maybe a Winston potentially, of course, but probably the Rhine, probably the favorite for this one for sure.
But there's a lot of Ryan, but we see the supports change it up a little bit from time to time. Will we see nothing but Zen, or will we see a sneaky bit of
It's
Anna
true.
and Moira throughout this? Teams opting for the other counterparts here and there, making it either work or not for the most part. But really quickly, want to thank Zoozle TV for the follow and Solstice Gaming with a huge host to the stream. I'm sure you want to get as many people as you can watching you guys play hopefully well today.
Yes, of course. Again, this should be a good one for sure. And I mean, just thinking back to, our MVPs of Solstice last game, just that great Zarya play from Aspect. We'll see if he can keep it up here. We know he had tons of energy, tons of damage going throughout that entire first game. Maybe an easier opponent for sure, but still gonna highlight him and see if he can get those graviton surges as quickly as he did last game. And if Neon can, also follow through with those diva bombs or just Inax with the hammer, can definitely do it as well. Of course, I mean those guys just all together seem like pretty pretty good people to watch out. But then you have Exile, who of course can also put up a good fight. We know they won 3-0. We don't know exactly how, sadly, but should be a good one nonetheless.
hmm Absolutely. I'm excited to see how it goes. Already, you guys at home can't see it, but the in-game chat is blowing up. There's a lot going on between these two teams, Friendly little banter,
Mhm.
it's always a little
Yeah.
bit healthy. We don't have silent comms here. So everyone should be happy. And I feel like we're gonna have an interesting game here. Hopefully it's I feel like there's going to be some fun moments here. Some
Yeah,
silly moments,
absolutely.
people messing around because that's what we saw last time when Solstice was playing. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, this is just a fun tournament. This is a tournament of goats. Goats has been away for quite some time because of that 2-2-2. So we decided to bring it back. And if you enjoy what you are watching, make sure you drop a follow and stick around. This is only the first game of round two that is being streamed at least. So Nate IRL, thank you for the follow during that. And so it's just pretty exciting. all around here. More games to come, more losers bracket games. These teams aren't out of it if they lose here. And then there's, of course, the toilet bowl, which is below the losers bracket, which gives teams a third chance to just at least prove themselves a little bit. Should be exciting to watch as we go on throughout this tournament. So, of course, stick around. It's going to be good. And me and Cookie will be here for as much of it as we can be.
I'm not allowed to do anything else whatsoever.
No.
Just stuck here. But we should be able to jump into the game pretty shortly here and see what these teams are made of. See if Solstice can keep going with their, their snowball, and see if Exile can hold them back and beat them down.
Both these teams, of course, very good. It's just a matter of, waiting for these teams to ready up here in the lobby. And of course, stick around as well for Onomatopoeia Community Cup. We do have our relaunch coming June 18th. That's an SR-less league. Anyone can join in that one. So it should be very exciting. Of course, me and Cookie will be there too because we just have to be. It's just what we do.
Yep. Plenty of games just constantly. Just so much Overwatch. We're all stuck inside right now. Might as well just spend a ton of time in here grinding out Overwatch. Anything beats being in the actual ladder.
Yeah, and there is relegation and promotion at least. If you win, you go up a division. If you lose, you go down. Not lose, but you know what I mean. Just you can get demoted in divisions, and so that's a lot of fun too. Playing around people, your skill range the entire time, and everything like that. It's a lot of fun. But for now, we have GOATs. We have these top teams in the tournament for sure. Definitely two of the favorites, just SR wise and performance wise. Definitely what we saw with Solstice can definitely be a top team, but we'll see what they pull out here as we go to Busan. Very low ground map this first time going around this sanctuary map. So Reinhardt definitely a probable pick here.
It's a lot of tight quarters here, and it's it should just be a Ryan on Ryan hammerfest. Not much else to do really. Winston dive, it doesn't work here. There's no point for it.
I'm sure that they could find a way to make it work somehow, some way. But
I think that would count more on the other team not knowing what to do and less on them pulling off the dive.
Yeah, but again, Reinhardt in here. It's going to be up for the damage to get as much as it can as we go into our first map here of round 2, Solstice versus Exile.
There's going into this small little drum room, just trying to find some damage as close quarters as you can really get here. And, Solstice really just pushing out here, taking the aggression by storm, taking out 2 supports very early. All they have left is Shrek on that Lucio, and the team that comes out, and it should just be clean up here for him. That nice, efficient first fight win. Shrek is going to be bouncing around in this drum, but taken out pretty quickly. The power of the Discord is too strong for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Great plays there by Solstice. Especially aspect, of course, he does a lot of damage. And Anax taking that aggression, as always. Just look how far this team is pushed up right now. They know exactly what they have to do to win these fights. And just stick together as a team when it needs to be. But going on the flank now is Exile looking to take maybe a back way to the point.
Yeah, just rotated completely around. Looking to get on point, but they're slow it down a little bit. The rally comes in for Solstice. And Inax is just, he's just axing everyone right now. He's just taking out 3 kills to his name and plenty of damage on the side for everyone else. He's really just W keying right now.
Yeah, big ultimate advantage there with the rally. You get that extra armor, and it just continues to come during that ultimate. So you just always have somewhat of a healing source there. Big ultimate advantage there, and they're still up in ultimates here. Let's see if Exile can pull this one back.
And the bomb chucked in does find a shield, and the Transcendent comes out as well. But it's not going to be up for too much longer with everyone being put down on the ground. Exile is going to want to stay alive, but Exile Joey, not the actual Joey, but the other one, manages to take out his counterpart being Joe, and the bomb comes in as well, taking out a couple of the tanks, which is pretty good. It's what Exile needed to be able to push in here and take it for themselves for the first time. 68%. It's not bad, but it's still a ways away from gapping it fully.
Yeah, that was a really ultimate heavy fight, and coming out on top of that from Exile, they're just going right back in here actually. But Solstice just kind of pushes them off, but
Inax just dropping so low, and you know, Exile Joey taking him out nice and early. They're gonna push them back into spawn, and you know, try and keep them as far away from that point as you can.
Yeah, Donkey still has that Graviton Surge too to really open up this fight. 2 defensive ults here online for Solstice, but getting those out would be very important right now. Oh, but
eaten by Donkey, from Donkey rather. That's going to be huge. The Trance is out, and so is the Shatter, putting down a few people. The Beat is out as well. We're just throwing out all the ults here. Bomb coming in on top. Now, actually manages to find Joey. That's, you know, that's your speed completely gone. You can't move anywhere without it, really. And that's going to be it for Solstice, you know, taking that point. Just gonna get that nice little stagger pick from the D.Va. And yeah, pretty good. I mean, a lot of ults used again. Of course. But pretty good fight one for Solstice there.
It's Ghost, stays ultimates, but a big one there coming out from Inax. Getting a huge shatter there at the tail end of that fight to just really swing it into their favor. And no support ultimates online except for this rally now from Cal as they go in.
And Grove pinning them all to the wall like a bunch of pin-up girls here. They actually managed to find a couple picks off it as well. No support ultimates to keep them alive. No point using Lambent's ult there because it's not going to give you any value quickly. And yeah, there's Zenyatta taking out Lambent as well. It would be a good pick, but
well,
you know,
the round's over. So
it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, again, highlighting Aspect here, who on that Zarya getting those Graviton Surges just when they need them, pitting them against the wall. As you said, just completely wins them the fight there. No support ultimates online. That rally doing the best it can, of course, but it just too much damage coming through there. Excuse me. So
I was looking at the wrong side there. I was looking at Solstice's defensive ult when they were on the attack. It gets a bit hectic, you know. It's great. Everyone's crazy.
So some great stuff there from both teams, especially. It was a close round one here as we go into Mecha Base, which has a little more high ground, maybe a little different way to play this map, but still the full mirror coming in here. Both those flex supports on Zenyatta, which we've seen maybe be the more dominant pick right now, but we'll definitely see if that changes up throughout the series.
A lot of times you see the Ghost as well. Sometimes they'll just go straight for point, but both these teams are opting to get the advantage on high ground or in better positions, and it's working out for Solstice pretty well, you know, taking out Exile Joey very early on in that fight and kind of rolling from there. And once you lose that Reinhardt, we've seen it time and time again, as soon as you lose that Reinhardt, it's pretty much done from there. You lose your main driving force.
Yeah, the first pick there was Cal, actually, and it just... Solstice is so clumped up together that they could just rush onto Cal when he was just a few meters away from his team and take him out, just separate him right away. So great stuff there from Solstice to take advantage of that misplay. And again, an early pick.
Yeah, that cheeky pick from Aspect. You have so much damage on that Zarya coming through, and the Shadow as well, just to kind of guarantee and clean it up. Exile Joey managing to take out Inax, but it won't matter too much with this huge stagger onto RJ there.
Yeah, coming up into that last fight, we had a good pick off to early, but a trade went through. Just it was that high damage from Aspect and some great support play as well, just keeping up that high tank. Aspect really the powerhouse here with the damage, but his grab gets eaten.
Yeah, that's huge from RJ, getting rid of Aspect's grab that he likes to farm up nice and clear. I'm sure he won't have another one before long. The Trance comes out, keeping everyone alive on Solstice for now, but it's not going to do too much. It's only going to hold off the inevitable here as Exile rolling on the point, and they should be able to cap it pretty soon here. A couple of people bouncing around points, so it's just going to clean them up. And you have the point again at roughly 60%.
Yeah, moving their way up here with that takeover there, just trying to force the aggression again, but a huge eat there. Just the entire defense there seemed to revolve around that Graviton Surge, and once it was gone, it didn't seem like they knew what they were doing. So again, RJ, great play there, but right back into it with the rallies.
That bomb chucked so far into the backline didn't matter too much. Inax does fall though on the offensive. He loses out to Exile Joey, and you know, a lot of defensive ults coming out here, trying to keep everyone alive, but it's only going to be effective for one team here. You know, Solstice being pushed back into spawn yet again.
Yeah, it's another main take difference there, as Inax got picked off pretty early in that fight. Not enough support coming at him. Maybe just not grouped up the way they wanted to, but we'll see if he can get full strength here. That shatter, huge.
Ooh, absolutely huge. You know, Inax a little bit too aggressive. He manages to take out Cal, and he gets the shadow himself, putting down pretty much everyone else. The Trans keeping everyone alive just so they can stay in this fight, even though they're lacking a couple of people there. But they should be able to clean this up. You know, we've got the man himself aspect just beaming down everyone. And that should be easy cap for Solstice, you know, 60% both teams.
Great shadows from both tank players there, but Inex forced the aggression onto the other team and pushed them back, and then got his own shadow too. He just popped it right down, and then everyone was already up again, so they just pushed right back in. So great play there from Inex. Great Reinhardt plays so far in this map. But
they tried to bait them there, but Solstice weren't having it. They knew they were kind of just still hiding there. The grab and the bomb come out a little bit too late. People had already died. Might have caught more if they hadn't. But you know, get rid of that Diva mech. Get those staggers out, and we're going to be hard pressed to be able to touch the point again here.
Yeah, just
going to bounce around though. Yeah, Shrek should be able to touch here, but I don't know if it'll matter too much. He gets bashed and beaten, and the next person to get on is Cal, but he's not going to be able to make it.
Can that charge get on?
Nope. No. The counter pin in perfect time and the boop. And that's going to be a quick 1-0 for Solstice Esports there.
Yeah, quick 1-0 indeed. Looking at Inex for sure, especially with this play of the game here. We do have play of games this match because we're not using replay codes anymore. But
yeah, I was wondering when someone was lucking.
You know, we did see this Reinhardt battle. Just look at him swinging in there. Just has that speed boost, has those Discord orbs to swing onto. There's great stuff from him, doing tons of damage there, being kept up, especially by Aspect. Look at that, 36 high energy kills. Only one of his kills weren't high energy. Not even all of them.
That's pretty great. But yeah, Solstice, they use everything in their toolkit and find value out of everything, which is, I think, one of the more important aspects. You know, like you said, they're using the speed to get in. They're swinging. They have the armor from Brig. They've got the discords up. There's nothing that they're not utilizing here. And not to say that Exile isn't, but Solstice are just they've perfected the use of literally everything at their disposal here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing like a well-oiled machine yet again, like we saw in the last game. But now that Exile's a map pick, maybe they can play something they're a little more comfortable on. Solstice seems to love this Busan quite a bit, as that's two 2-0s in a row here on this map. But we'll see what's picked up here for Exile. It's going to be Hanamura, which,
okay,
I mean, that's fair enough to me. Exile did put up a good fight there. Just again, everything on Solstice just seems so great right now that it's hard to match that intensity, that aggression that they're putting down on the table. No subs either. Just again, you know, putting that out there. But
just, you know, same people, same day. Was it Solstice that ran the dive the other day, or was it a different team?
Solstice did actually run Inex on the Winston on Temple of Anubis, which definitely works on that map. But I feel like Hanamura is just such a different map type that I'm not really sure this one's going to work out the same way.
Yeah, I was hoping to see some more dive maps and then see people run dive a little bit more. Because, I mean, you know, we've got plenty of goats to go. But, you know, seeing a little bit of variety here is nice to be, because it would be a little bit difficult to run the dive on this map, especially for first point anyway.
For sure.
But you know, both teams are looking to be using this Zenyatta pretty well. So I think we're just going to be running complete mirror comps for the rest of the night, I believe.
Yeah, wouldn't be a surprise to me. Maybe if we went to Anubis, we could, you know, put that one in there. But nonetheless, we do go to Hanamura, as looking at maybe Aspect again to see if he can get those great value Zarya bubbles, get all that energy, get all that damage, and looking to see how Exile actually turn this one away. You know, Donkey maybe trying to manage him on that Zarya, get more damage done somehow, some way, and Joey protecting his front line with that Reinhardt, trying to take Inex one-on-one. So we'll see how these guys respond here on Hanamura.
Absolutely. You know, a pretty good map for goats. There's plenty of high ground, but it's not the most useful high ground there is. You know, all of it is pretty easy to access one way or another. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, it's a case of just running down mid the entire time.
Yeah, very much could be. Just get to point, get that presence already on. And if you are enjoying what you see here today. We do have this tournament going on basically the whole month of May. We got weeks and weeks of goats ahead of you. This is just the second round here, first game being streamed. So make sure you follow Opal Rosie. Thank you for the follow as I talk about that. And stick around because the OCC relaunch that will happen June 18th. So that's a nice league that everyone can participate, different divisions, SR list, anyone can participate in that one. Good fun there. Me and Cookie, of course, as I've said many times, will be around.
No one else to do it. It's only us. We're the only two casts in the entire world available to start at the very least. He hasn't unlocked the rest of the characters yet. But, we've got a match here. People already swinging, everyone falling low, and everyone building ult. It's just, working out for the most part for Solstice here, though. But they do lose in Axe, which is pretty critical on this kind of map. He's got a long distance to charge through.
He does. That Lucio's going to go back to speed boost him, but maybe more importantly, Neon actually got DMAC during that as well. And so they're basically 2 down right now, especially if that Lucio doesn't get back soon enough. And I think they see that. I think they know that they have that aggression, and they're going in.
They're going to try it. But Exile Joey falls almost immediately. They manage to get Lambent here, and they are stacked up on the point, but I don't think this fight's going to be drawn out for too long. They still have the Reinhardt in Axe himself coming in just to club everyone that still contests his point. The trance comes out. It looks like they're wanting to try and keep this. Maybe they're looking for the stagger to come through. The grab comes out as well, and another transcendence. The shatter comes out. Exile Joey is back. He's swinging, but he falls almost immediately yet again. He just doesn't have a chance to build anything up. He's getting hit with that Discord and just melts.
Oh, and the stagger too. Poor RJ, life of a diva main, especially in goats. But again, that trance maybe not the most well-advised thing to just throw in there. I mean, you're kind of down in the fight already. Maybe you're just trying to hold until your Reinhardt comes back, but that's a free grab for Aspect. And you're playing against Aspect. You should know he has it at that point. So interesting stuff there. We'll see if they can turn it around here as they attack yet again.
RJ taking this off angle, annoying Inax in the back, putting in a little bit of damage. The shutter comes out. It actually misses everyone, unfortunately. You get that rally, keeping everyone on Solstice alive. Inax is yet again going to fall though. The poke damage in the back was just a little bit too much for him. Lambent gets caught out by the Diva Bomb. A little bit unfortunate, but not going to be able to take too long to get back here. And they're just trying to push out and get a stagger pick to ensure their safety here.
Yeah, ensure their safety is right, because also Inex did fall during that fight, so another full regroup here can be huge, especially with Lambent all the way in spawn. There's only one support here, and they're rushing straight on. They know exactly what to do.
They just want to get rid of him nice and quickly. The beat does come out, and Aspect kills himself with his own high energy. And Neon with the 2K. I think that went through a shield. I'm not quite sure. And now Solstice should be able to keep this alive for the most part. Was looking a little bit sloppy, but they should be able to get these last 2 picks here, and probably another half-decent stagger. Getting launched off the map for RJ.
Again, just you're getting the picks you need here on Hanamura. Just you're not sticking together on the side of. You ever just completely forget of Exile? Oh my God, my apologies. On Exile, they're just not sticking together well enough during these long fights here. We're gonna try it one more time here with 45 seconds remaining.
A grub comes out though, and they don't have any defensive ult. They are just gonna wipe there. They just need to die. And RJ, baby Diva again. He's gonna run off that map. Only 30 seconds left by the time he hits the pit, and he's gonna, he's gonna get in here. They're gonna push it in very quickly.
Yeah, they also use that rally during the fight. They can't really open it up. Now, Lambent does have his, so they have that ultimate advantage. And Inex, looking for the shatter here, has to be bigger than Joey's, and Joey's has to be bigger than Inex, setting up this next fight. That rally, definitely the advantage right now here for Solstice.
That's going to keep everyone nice and tanky here. But Inex gets bashed out of his shatter, which is going to be huge. And, Exile Joey, he gets not the world's biggest amount of value, but didn't really need, since Inax had already died, and they're going to be able to push in the last few seconds and actually cap this. That's just good for Exile finally.
An absolute carry there by Cal, just bashing Inax out of that shatter. Would it have hit anyway? Joey had his shield up, who knows, but still it did allow that damage to come through as well. Didn't get any follow-up. Just a great bash there by Cal, just allowing them to get point A. But now point B, it's a little bit tougher than point A. We'll see if Exile can do this. They start off with that Diva Bomb.
That's going to be a half-decent bomb. It actually managed to take out Aspect, which is insane. You know, you've got bubbles and whatnot. And they're just taking full aggress here. Exile Joey, another shadow, putting the axe down, but it's not going to be enough. Neon, smack him in the back of the head, dropping him down. Inaxe falls as well here. It's still not completely lost for Exile here, but they've got to make sure they're not just dancing around on the low ground here. They've got to be on point. They've got to make that that respawn timer take a lot longer than what it is, because that's what it's going to come down to here. But it's looking to be lost here for Exile. Unfortunately for them, they're going to get staggered out here quite a lot and back out.
Yep. Great graviton surge there by Aspect. Only gets one. Now, of course, one doesn't seem like a lot, but you pull that Brigitte away from her team. Easily picked off. Only a 200 HP shield now, unlike in Ghosts when it was 600, 500, whatever it was. But
probably like 1,000 or something. You know,
it felt like it. But pulls her away, and of course, just kind of cleans up the rest of the fight from there on out, especially with that huge healing bank out. But 130, about 2 fights remaining. Maybe just a dry push here is in place, but they start with the bomb yet again.
And it almost catches out the Zenyatta. So close, but actually managed to demech Neon. Another big shatter straight on the donkey, but it's not going to matter too much. Silverstar did fall though. You lose out on that Zenyatta who's so close to Trance. Exile looking to be in a pretty decent position here, but not quite sure where they want to go. Exile Joey does fall here. His team not really there, paying attention to keep him alive. And it's just going to be clean up for Inax and Neon, just bullying everyone else alive. And RJ running to jump off yet again. The Discord to help her out.
Makes that fall just a lot faster of a death, I guess.
Yeah, boosted environmental damage. But, you know, we're getting close to that last fight territory. You know, it's a long walk. If they lose this next fight, they're going to be in real hot trouble to be able to push in again.
Yeah, and a good ultimate bank online for this defense. Solstice looking so good right now. See if they can keep it going. They have 2 of those defensive ults online here, that Sound Barrier and that Transcendence, and see if the push in is worth it.
Oh, the shadow straight into the shield, and the bomb was out in the background. Excal falling to it. That's not going to be good. And a lot of pigs coming through here. The beat keeping everyone alive. There's no way anyone on Solstice are going to die here. And with RJ being you know, killed so late, they're not going to have any chance of a real push hit. The shadow comes out, trying to get rid of Shrek there. Bouncing along those walls, doesn't quite reach him. That should be it for Exile's push here.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Just came into that last fight with an ultimate disadvantage. But in the fights that they were in a good position to win, it just seemed a little disorganized. It just seemed like Solstice was just all together, calling their targets probably a lot more decisively and just taking advantage of it. So, I mean, as much as Solstice is controlling this game, like, you can't really put that blame on Exile. Just Solstice is so good right now. Just knowing what they're doing, getting those discorded targets down, putting the damage where it needs to be. Solstice have looked great, and their ultimate rotations too. I mean, when you get ultimates every single fight from Inax and Aspect, it's hard not to rotate your ultimates effectively, but great stuff out for Solstice so far.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, you know, Exile, they're a pretty good team. Like, there's not a lot of faults, but Solstice really find any little tiny cracks and sneak in and run with it. You know, they're almost, you know, at the level that we're at, you know, all the plebs that we are here, almost playing it perfectly. Very few issues arise, and yeah, you might lose your Reinhardt here and there, but does that really matter? You know, it's only a Reinhardt. You don't need it that much, right?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Reinhardt, Schmeinhardt, I don't know. Your diva can just eat all the damage anyway. It's not. Just play monkey. It's more fun. You can fly around, I guess. I don't know.
Absolutely. You jump around, primal, big monkey brain, bash people around. You know, it's fun, you know.
and you got a banana, of course. Down the offense, Solstice looking to take this as quickly as possible as they're in on this fight.
So yeah, Solstice taking it fairly low, surprisingly, but actually managing to find a pick on Cal there. A little bit surprising with how slow they had. I thought Exile were going to pull out there for sure. They had a lot of damage on the ground, but it just apparently it wasn't enough. They had enough heals to keep them alive, and you know, yeah, Neon got demeched, but is it going to matter too much? 76% and rising. They're going to have mech by the time they push in anyway. And they got a little bit of ult built up.
Yeah, of course. That was a really interesting play. Lambent just walked into the back line and started doing damage. No one even looked at that Brig, just flying around back there, and did a lot of damage. Got that healing going. So now they're straight in through main, but Lambent's down.
Yeah, he doesn't get the aggression this time. Transcendence maybe not entirely needed, and for the most part, a pretty decent dry push. I mean, they weren't close to winning by any regards, but a good idea to just push in. They actually baited out an ult somehow, and they got plenty of their own to come in with.
Yeah, exactly. Looking for aspect again with this graviton surge to really win them this fight. Shrek far off of that sound barrier, and they probably know that too. This is their chance right now to just take this. Only need one tick yet again. RJ does get it in his mech, but again, this graviton surge has to be huge here as they go up to the high ground.
They're really coming out nice and early, trying to keep everyone alive. The Shadow comes in from behind, only puts a couple people down, gets the pin as well onto the Diva, but there's still just a lot of damage coming in on the front line. Inex eventually takes out Exile Joey, 2 bombs out and a couple of grabs, and both managed to get 2Ks each. Neon and Silverstar gone, as well as Shrek and Excal, but it's looking to be Solstice winning out on this fight. They've only got to get rid of the baby Diva and the Reinhardt and can cap it here, but actually he manages to stay alive surprisingly. The beat comes out keeping everyone alive in that grab, and Enax has to just go to town and swing away and get rid of these people because they're going to have the spawns here. Neon manages to get back to point, put in some more damage. Shrek's beat comes out, keeping the stall alive, just trying to whittle down that time as much as he can. Lambent with the rally as well. It's going to be hard to kill anyone on the side of Solstice here. And Exile Joey managed to fall instead of Shrek, and that's going to be it for Hanamura. Solstice taking it 2-0 so far.
Yeah, crazy last fight there, but it was all set up by that Diva bomb by Neon, who just threw it up in the air and it landed down. But again, there's some great plays out here from Solstice, taking a good aggression as always. As we look at Lambent flying around, some great Brig play as always. Pressing M1 and pressing M1.
That's literally it. And again, Lambent, Lambent was the one that we saw yesterday that had the high kill participation on the Brigade so much. Not that we could have seen from the last game because there's just replays, but Lambent's keeping those numbers up pretty high and staying with the aggression, literally playing it like a mini Reinhardt.
Yeah, so right now the 2-0 there, Solstice going up on Exile. A great match so far. Exile, nothing to hang your heads about just yet, as we still got one more map to play. Make sure you follow and stick around for that. And of course, we have tons more going on in the onomatopoeia community as well. We got this Goats tournament of Goats, presented by Solstice Esports. As always, we'll be here. We'll be here. Just have the pink. We'll just be here, and it's going to be a great tournament. Can't wait to see which 2 teams fall into the grand finals at the end of this tournament. That'll be exciting to watch for. And of course, the OCC relaunch on June 18th. Stick around for that. That'll be tons of fun as well. So
we got plenty of games to go through. But yeah, we should be able to jump into this next map. Not just yet. A little bit premature. But it is going to be Scrim's Row, of course, the home of Goats yet again. I like the Arkham world before. We didn't get to see too much of the map, unfortunately, because it was just a quick assault for the winning team. That was a team. I'm blanking so much on the team names here. I apologize. But hopefully, no, not this one. But hopefully this one runs a little bit longer. Maybe we might get to see a little bit more of the map and see if Exile can finally put on the show that they're dreaming of.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see spawn camps, or maybe hopefully we do. But of course, we still have to talk about our MVP at the end of the match. And Solstice in the lead 2-0 right now, really commanding, but could be from Exile. Cookie, you have any ideas for MVP this match?
Well, again, it's really hard to put out for Goats. At least with 2-2-2 Rollock, the DPS, it's always a DPS because they're always showy and they're always in the kill feed. But I don't know, Lambent probably not far off with this Brigade. He's putting a lot of value, just constantly in the front line, constantly putting out damage, having the heals up, and these rallies coming on so constantly at crucial moments. And if not for Lambent, then maybe even Inax doing a lot of work on this Reinhardt. And we know it's the Reinhardt show when it comes to Goats. It's all about the Reinhardt. You're basically playing 5 supports and 1 DPS. but he's still doing a lot of work with what he's given right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That Reinhardt, holding down the fort, getting those shatters, blocking the shatters, everything he can. Great stuff from Inex as always. But he did get picked off a few times there in Hanamura. But that happens sometimes. You just want to get in and get those kills. But always have to highlight Aspect for the side of Solstice because
Of
this does
course.
an insane amount of damage with that Zarya pick. And Joey for sure too on the Lucio, the Juicio, the Joeycio, whatever he wants to call himself. Great stuff there. Getting those beats down and actually getting a lot of final blows during those last two maps as well. Fragging out a little bit on the Lucio, but of course Exile aren't out of it just yet. So on that side, I mean, RJ definitely on that Diva can do a lot of work, getting huge bombs from time to time, really saving a lot of the hope of Exile throughout these maps.
hmm Absolutely, doing a lot of work. Not to discredit anyone on the side of Exile, they're doing a lot of work here. Still, just not quite enough. But yeah, like you said, RJ's doing a lot of work on this Diva and getting some decent bombs. And Exile Joey's, for the most part, holding his own as well as he can against the monster that is Inax. But he's trying to do what he can. He's trying to play the game. But if they get knocked down to losers bracket, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same players do, a complete 180 and do a whole lot better because they're a good team. It's just they're struggling a little bit against Solstice here.
Yeah, of course, definitely a great team, but nonetheless, it's a tough matchup against Solstice. A very good team, very well practiced. As Solstice will be taking the defense here on King's Row. No surprise there, as it's a little bit easier because if you full hold, you can just go for 1 point. But again, the mirrors looking to come out here. Nothing special on those flex supports. No Winston, as I feel like Reinhardt likes King's Row a bit more here. It's opening 10 seconds. Looking to see maybe a little bit more aggression, maybe some better Discord orbs here from Exile as they push in out of these gates.
Just pushing out. Everyone dancing around on this statue here, holding up. We saw yesterday they play very aggressively here, and Exile going in, rushing in immediately straight on top of Inax, who then burn him down immediately with that Discord. But Neon actually manages to find oh my god, Sayo there on the Zenyatta, which is a pretty strong pick in of itself. Losing that Discord, you lose a lot of damage, but it's not going to matter too much because Exile getting pushed out here anyway.
Yeah, Exile did just the right thing there in that fight. They went super aggressive to start off the fight, and they took down Inax, but they forgot about Aspect, who is just an absolute animal, and he just burns the rest down as Neon goes for a little flank, distracts them a little bit, separates them a little bit, and just great stuff there by those two other tanks. As
the shutter getting blocked up there, unfortunately. Or did it come out? I thought two people on the ground. I have no clue what's going on. The ground comes out. There's too many people on top of each other. And it's just going to be Solstice, again, just kind of wiping it all out with just a grab and, the damage coming in on top of it. When everyone's piled up like that, it's a little bit hard to see what happens.
It is very difficult to see what happens, but Aspect, again, with these Graviton Surges, basically on a cooldown every fight for him. As he has high charge now, we'll see him definitely get one soon, but Rally to start off, great way to initiate a fight here.
The Shadow goes in for the background, but it does get blocked, unfortunately, for Inax there. There's a lot of damage coming in. The beat comes out to make sure everyone's alive. They can take full aggression here. Silver Star managing to take out Exile Joey there. No more run halfway. And here's where they start to be a little bit concerning because they're using a lot of ults here. They use the grab and the transcendence in what could be most definitely a lost fight. They don't have any picks and they don't have any real value here. And you're down a couple ults there for no reason.
Yeah, something in them maybe told them they could pull it back. So Donkey invests the Graviton Surge and say Namjae uses his Transcendence, but it just doesn't work out because Silverstar had his Transcendence. Gotta have that all tracking online, and now without a Transcendence, a free grab basically in here, but Bomb to open it up yet again.
Bomb all the way in the back. The pin almost timed well, very close, but he doesn't get the counter pin. Neon though, just taking out everyone. Excal gets nuked by the headshots and then tossed up and takes out a couple more with the bomb. Two people with shield and bubbles managing to die to it, unfortunately for them. And they're just back in the spawn again with a minute 30 left.
Aspect also uses his grab at the tail end of the fight, maybe just because he wanted to say he used the grab every fight or something. But he gets that stagger a little bit as this defense looking good with a minute to go. it's going to be up to the sound barrier maybe to get them through here from Shrek. But
Ooh,
Joey goes
Joey
down.
a little bit too aggressive there. Does get caught out. The Discord melts him very. The beat comes out trying to keep it rolling, and Inax does fall. Discorded and burnt down by the team. A couple of rallies out and a couple of transcendences as well. Ult's just an absolute feeding frenzy right now. The damage still has to come out there for Exile. They don't have the point just yet. They managed to find Lamb Ass there. They push on through and they should be able to cap it here. But it looks like Solstice aren't giving up just yet.
Maybe they're just going for that little play around that first choke point, which is totally acceptable as their two supports are coming back in, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing here. It's a clown fiesta, as we all know.
Absolutely, the wise words of NTU himself.
But going straight back in here, they're not letting any progress go on this card. They want to just hold this choke as well as they can here. Aztec almost has another Graviton Surge here. It's going to be very important for this fight, but they have to go up against that bomb combo again. Bomb into the back.
Bomb getting launched into the back, doesn't find any value just yet. Two grabs coming out, keeping everyone in place, mainly Exile though. Two Reinhardts are down. It's going to be a problem for either team to really have any driving force here. But it looks like Solstice are going to be winning out. Lamb Ass here in the Brigida, pretending to be a mini Reinhardt himself, finds a little bit of value in, you know, Aspect melting down the competition.
Yeah, I mean, you did say those two driving forces were down, but the way Solstice is playing, you don't need a driving force when you have Aspect and Lambent just playing these anchor roles, getting that damage, getting just that support in. It's going to be a little bit more inaction going through back here, so they get a little free progress here.
They actually finally managed to get through that choke, but Solstice aren't going to give them any more room than they need to. The Transcendence coming out, and the Shadow as well, putting down Inax, but he's back up, and the Bomb and the Grav coming out, and manages to find fire, and huge! And it takes out the D-Bict Diva as well, and that's going to be a team kill. That's huge for him.
Now, that bomb combo, it's absolutely huge. I mean, there's no way that the side of Exile was really planning for it. Aspect used his grab last fight, too. So, this guy on this Zarya just absolutely insane. Getting it every fight. We know why this hero is so important in GOATs, and especially Neon, too, with that bomb, throwing it straight up into the air, right on top of the grab. Great stuff from him as well.
And now they don't want to just push through the choke anymore. They want to take the fight on their own terms. Kind of, you know, playing a bit of ring around the rosy here, dancing around the high ground, trying to confuse Solstice, but they know exactly where they are. They do have their, you know, audio turned on. They can hear those big footsteps, and the Shadow comes out, putting down pretty much everyone, and the damage is there to follow up, along with the Discords. And it's just going to be, you know, a good rotation, but it didn't quite work out for them. It's wasting a little bit of time. And the stagger as well.
Yep, there's a little bit of time being dropped off there, and that huge rotation takes a lot of time off too. I like the play, I do like the creativeness, but it's just a little too long to especially lose that fight. And look at Aspect's alt charge again. He's at 85 already. He has it for the next fight. Neon, not quite there, so we won't see that big bomb come out, but just definitely that aggressive Graviton Surge.
Here comes the grab there, ready for it yet again. The beat is there though to keep everyone alive for the moment, and there's plenty of damage coming out. They shatter down just the Diva themselves. The bomb comes out straight on top of the shield and the bubble. Transcendence keeping everyone on Exile alive except for Exile Joey, who fell a little bit too early. The Transcendence comes out inside of the Graviton and keeping everyone on Solstice alive, keeping them pushed out. They're going to be hard pressed here to get any value. Salmon Jay is dropped onto the ground and taken out immediately, and no one is there to touch the point, unfortunately, for Exile.
I mean, maybe
and another 3K bomb.
3K bomb from Neon to, you know, just cap it off there, but it didn't really seem like the most winnable fight there anyway, but you never know what can happen, just barely doesn't touch. But Neon doing a ton of work there, Aspect doing a ton of work. And of course, their supports, Joey, Silverstar, Lambent, just absolutely insane stuff, keeping their tanks alive throughout all of this. Lambent for sure. I mean, it is Brigida. It's not the, you know, most difficult thing to play, but those right-timed bashes and those right-time armor packs that keep your tanks up just for a little longer, and putting one on your Zenyatta for sure, giving him a little bit of that extra health. Huge stuff from there, especially from Lambent. But it's been pretty great to watch. I definitely would think Lambas is a favorite for MVP.
Absolutely, doing a lot of work, and you know, it's always seen as that resident sleeper kind of role, the Brigida. No one ever has ever thought it's a high intensity character, but you know they're doing all they can with it, and so much more, and having a little bit of fun with it as well. It's super aggressive, like I said, just playing like a mini Reinhardt, and because of that, they don't have to push it too far.
Yeah, not at all. One cap and just through that little choke here for Solstice, and no doubt that they have it in them here as they're up 2-0, looking to take this series right here on King's Row.
Exile playing it super aggressively, just jumping around the corner, jumping out, screaming boo. They manage to take out Lamb Ass and in axe immediately, both the Reinhardt and the mini Reinhardt. Taken out pretty much immediately, and you know, jumping out like that, it's effective. You know, it's high aggression, and you know, you got to be careful.
Yeah, just that split second where they don't know where you are and you know where they are. Very effective there just to get another initial ping. And they're back in straight again here. Just taking this aggression, forcing those cooldowns out.
A lot of aggression. They're going to take their time, build up that amp again before they can speed in, and you know, rotate around a little bit, trying to catch people out. Neon in the back, trying to get rid of the Zenyatta, trying to DM any Valley going in through. They manage to demech RJ. The Shadow comes down, doesn't find anyone, unfortunately. In Axe taking Cal out, and Joey falls as well. They should be able to cap this point here. Neon getting demech. The Battle of the Baby Divas. Who's going to win? Unfortunately, it was ruined.
Next time.
The showdown of the century ruined by the posse here.
Can we just ban Solstice now just because they ruined that? Oh, the grab, very GM from
huge grab. That is big though, because as long as they cap it quick enough before he respawns, he's not actually. He's got bad spawn. He's super far behind it. As long as Solstice get together here now and push back through, they're gonna have quite the advantage with Cal coming all the way back from the longest spawn possible, as well as Joey as well, actually.
Yeah, solo graphing doesn't seem too great, but it is a very high IQ play just to pull someone out of the fight, especially with those spawns as you talked about here. And that's yeah, those bubbles from Aspect again, giving him that full ult charge, not ult charge, just regular damage charge, but either way,
Inax falling super low, but does get healed out. He tries shattering, but it only puts down Sayo there, but he's going to stay alive. The beat coming out, keeping everyone alive, but they get shattered again. Those two frontline tanks getting pinned up and damaged. They're falling quite low, and Aspect and Inax, your main damage dealers, drop there, and they're actually going to be able to hold on to this for at least another moment. There's still 4 minutes remaining for the defense here.
Yeah, just a moment remaining, and you know, you do have to have someone pushing on card there, so it's basically a 5v6 up ahead. Maybe a little too aggressive there. Somehow it's too aggressive for the Solstice team, but just able to be pulled apart there, especially with that Graviton Surge. So great play there by Exile to keep themselves alive, but that Surge is like...
That should be big, and the bomb sitting right on top of them. Everyone gets shutted up, and the shield was there to protect everyone. The Transcendence keeping the Zenyatta alive, and Exile actually managing to pull this off for now, taking out everyone. RJ getting demech'd, unfortunately. He's going to build up that pretty quickly, but to get the stagger onto Neon as well.
Yeah, big demech there from Neon. He's going to actually switch to the Winston and switch back. Great play by him. Just that demech is so important, especially as RJ is still at 50% for his remech. And they're going to be in here with an advantage. They have that Transcendence if need be. Maybe save it for Donkey's all too is close as well, but we'll see if they can win it here.
Shadow comes in, putting down everyone in the background other than the two with the tanks. And they're going to take the aggression here. They've got the rally up and the Transcendence, keeping everyone alive, keeping everyone boosted up. The Shadow coming in the back against Exile there. They find the damage and take out Joey and RJ. And it's just going to kind of crumble from there. It's just a couple more people to get rid of to, you know, win out this series. And they take out Shrek dancing around on the walls there, Frog high up in the sky. And that's going to be it for Solstice Esports, taking the 3-0 versus Exile. Moving on to round 3.
Yep, very convincing still from this Solstice team. Take another win here. We'll take a look at the play game for sure here. From NX, of course, that powerhouse Reinhardt, but couldn't have done it without his supports as well. Just great stuff here. Swinging into Aspect's grab, as always. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Wow, just yoinked out of his grasp. 43 out of 43 high energy kills from Aspect. He fixed it up after the last time I called him out there.
Yeah, and instead, Lambent taking the healing card instead of the kill card.
Yeah.
A little bit unfortunate there for him. Would have liked to see 100% from him there. Unfortunately, couldn't pull it off.
Yeah. But great game all around from Solstice there. Not out of it yet is Exile as they drop down to the losers bracket. You'll see them again for sure. This team is very strong. They took the 3-0 already in a game. So don't count them out yet. They'll be back. I know, I know. And make sure you follow the stream, follow along. More games coming up soon. It's going to be a great week, great month here for the Tournament of Goats, OCC, and everything. But first, you know, we have our MVP to pick out here. Cookie, got anything to say about our MVP?
Honestly, before I was going to Lambent Lambent and Inax were definitely my high
Mhm.
contenders there. Of course, Aspect in the background as well, just melting everyone. But I'd almost want to put up Nai on here as well. Getting absolutely huge grabs, but also constantly taking off the off angles, driving Exile Joey to kind of be frustrated a little bit, taking on all this damage while not being able to do too much. Definitely a strong contender there. But of course, all of
Mm,
the other supports as well, both Joey and Silverstar,
of course.
doing all they can to build up their ults nice and quickly, keep them as useful as possible, and along with the discords and the perfectly timed speeds and everything. That nice, well-oiled machine.
Yeah. We saw this in game one. Now we saw it in game two. Two quick 3-0s from the Solstice squad. And just everyone deserves MVP. When you really think about it, Joey sound bearing at the exact right moment there. Silver Star with those great transcendences. Lambent with those Brig rallies as well. And then we got to focus on the tank line too. Aspect, who was our MVP last game, just absolutely insane on the Zarya. I mean, it's hard to find one thing wrong he did. I mean, obviously he may have misplaced a few bubbles here and there, but from outside looking in, just an absolutely insane game from him. And then Neon for sure, huge bombs, huge eats. You don't see any graviton surges being eaten this map, but the damage is being eaten, and protecting his Reinhardt, really going on flank angles, just being a nuisance all around. It's great to be a nuisance when you're playing Diva in Goats. So great stuff out there from everyone in the team. And of course, NX just shudders all around, but just a crazy mad lad going everywhere. But now it's
Mhm.
time to reveal our actual MVP, who this time will be Lambent on the Brigitte. I mean, I know Brig isn't the most exciting character, but the healing, the damage, the shield bash is all very important in creating a winning game.
Yeah, absolutely. I just really did a lot of work. So
Mhm.
Lambert is definitely going to be our MVP today. We should have him in here for a sneaky little MVP interview as well shortly, and pick the brains of the Goat Lord himself.
Yep. Well,
All right.
welcome, Lambent. How are you feeling? You know, you're the MVP on the Brigitte of all things. You just won a decisive 3-0 there in the second round of all things. You know, how's Solstice feeling? How are you feeling?
Feeling good. And so my teammates, obviously.
Yeah, we can
I mean, of
absolutely see that. We
course.
can see you guys really, how the kids say, vibing out there, kind of just absolutely steamrolling through this team. Now, we're into round two. You won your round one pretty efficiently, but round two, teams start to get a little bit better, and it progresses forward. How are you guys feeling coming into this game after your game the other day where you rolled? Were you guys expecting more of a challenge here, or were you still expecting to just kind of roll on through?
I mean, I guess we were expecting to roll on through just because it's only round two. But you never know against like who you're gonna be playing against. So it's basically just like a toss up. But we didn't really pay attention to SR of the enemy team. We just kind of treat it like they're just every team is 4K or above that. So
Hmm.
Hmm.
Smart way
It's
to
always a good
play.
mindset. Yeah.
No get caught off guard. But you guys did pretty well as a whole. But obviously you're our MVP for today. Now on that Brigadier role, most people would think it's kind of the easier one to play. It's Brigadier. No one's ever really cared too much about the hero themselves. But you're doing a lot of work on it. Itself, you're bashing these shadows a lot. You're getting these perfectly timed rallies, keeping everyone alive. Do you play a lot of Brigida, or just kind of know how to do it anyway?
no, I play May because May's better right now. So I play May, And with May, you want to be like on your Ryan's back all the time and playing aggressive into their team. So that's just how I take the approach on Brigida as well. Like sitting next to my Reinhardt, and then when I need to, walking into their team to get my damage done and keep up Inspire, so I can heal my team all the time.
Yeah, obviously very
Absolutely.
important to get that inspire, just uptime always on. But you were the MVP, of course. But would you give it to anyone else on your team? You don't think anyone else popped off
Yeah,
specifically?
Chase Inax, his Reinhardt is really good, and it's basically what helps us to play how we do. So that's
Mhm.
who I would give it to is Inax or Inax.
Absolutely. The entire time I was calling out, it's basically Reinhardt and mini Reinhardt between you and him. You guys playing so aggressively, and for the most part, you're either with him, just railing people with your flail, or you're off to the side killing someone else. You guys seem to have a lot of synergy together and take the aggression very well. It's very well played.
Yeah.
Uh, but moving on, that's round two. Do you guys feel like you're going to be able to steamroll through some more games, or is there anyone you're looking forward to playing, or just kind of in the dark here and just seeing how it goes as it comes up?
I'm just seeing how it goes as it comes up. Didn't really pay attention to who we're really playing, but I assume as we go on, we're gonna be like the games are obviously gonna get harder. So we'll probably stop steamrolling after a point, but you never know.
Yeah, let's hope so at the very least. Any more questions here for MVP, Ryan?
No, just another congratulations to you for winning yet another game in the tournament of goats, and congratulations on the MVP as always.
Thank you.
And hope to see you again later on. But that was our MVP Lambit, who popped off on the Brig. Brig, definitely an interesting hero in goats. Seems a little easy sometimes, but nonetheless, all good fun.
hmm Absolutely. So we're going to move on here. Thank you for tuning into either game today. We had two coming in through. We had the 3-0 for Solstice Esports versus Exile, and then we had the game earlier as well through the replay codes of and blinking again. I still can't remember the team that played earlier, but it was another quick 3-0 for them, rounding up
UJ,
the
yes.
UJ and I can't- and not DreamWorks. That's right. Um, it was UJ winning out the 3-0, right?
3-1 there in that game.
Oh, 3-1. That's right. Yeah, they held out a little bit. Not DreamWorks dropping into the losers bracket. Still not completely down and out yet. But that's it for round one. That was our round two. Our first game shown for round two. We've got plenty more of goats to be played in this Onomatopoeias tournament of goats.
Yeah, should be definitely fun. So stick around, follow the stream, and stay up to date on what's going on. These games are going to be pretty good as we all miss goats a little bit, so it should be fun. But that does it for us here tonight on Onomatopoeia. I've been Ryan, joined alongside by Cookie as we usually are. So have a good night.
Absolutely.